What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 5. This is on Max, HBO Max, audio description still. And we had fun with this. This was an interesting episode. So this is the episode that dropped, and I got to see Peacemaker and Superman in the same day, which felt like a very symbiotic relationship between the series, even though the stuff having to do in Peacemaker that connects the films together is in earlier episodes. But so what had happened was on Peacemaker is that Chris had called Harcourt for a meeting, but Harcourt was trying to get back in with Argus. So they have the meeting out in public, and Chris doesn't realize he's being watched by Argus. And he asks Harcourt if basically he's a lot more sensitive to everything, and he asks her how she felt about Rick Flag and if there was ever anything between the two of them and that kind of stuff, because obviously in the other world she's all about it. Like it's a completely the possibilities in the other world with the other Harcourt are endless. And then Rick Flag Sr. orders them to take in Chris, which doesn't quite go so well. And someone has the ability to take a shot, but Harcourt manages to take Chris down first before a kill shot comes out, saving Chris's life. But now people are like, well, is Harcourt, has she really gone over to the dark side? No, she just knew that Chris was about to be shot in the head, so she saved his life. There's a really fun interaction between I keep forgetting his character's name, but just Tim Meadows, between Tim Meadows and Chris, where Chris says something to him and he's like, coming in with complimenting me, nice strategy, love that. Like, Tim Meadows is like my favorite character of the show. I thought he was going to be in just that one episode because I thought Eagle Eye was going to like rip his face off, but he's still here and just perfect energy for the show. Great casting. So back at Argus, Chris is just being beaten the hell out of by Rick Flag Sr. So the denominator, I can never remember what this dude's name is. The economizer. I don't. What the fuck is this guy's name? Economist. Jesus. What is his name? It's the worst name because it means nothing. It has nothing to do with his set of abilities or powers or anything like that. So he realizes that if he, through his conversation with Harcourt, that the way to save Chris is to log Chris into the system as a prisoner. So that's what they do. And they put him in a system so that way they can't, because right now he's just like, nobody knows they have him, so Rick Flag can do whatever he wants with him. And so then he has to stop, and they're like, well, hopefully Chris will lead us to his pocket dimension, because they were hoping to beat it out of him. And so they kind of let him go, and he's sort of rescued by the rest of his crew who came to get him. But Chris ends up, at the same time, I'm doing a really bad job of this, and I apologize, because I'm forgetting the Eagle Eye stuff. So Eagle Eye has to face off with Michael Rooker, who tries to poison Eagle Eye with this little mouse that's poisoned. But Eagle Eye knows. Eagle Eye's way smarter than anybody ever gives them credit for. So Eagle Eye just watches a fox grab this mouse instead, follows the fox. It looks like Eagle Eye is going to fight the fox, but doesn't. And then the fox eats the mouse and dies. So Eagle Eye's like, I know what's up. And then Michael Rooker pulls out a comically large gun and then ends up shooting an eagle that's not eagle-y, which is not good for him, because then like all of the eagles of the world come down upon him, led by eagle-y, and he dies being ripped apart by eagles who are having their vengeance. He's like, the alpha. So yeah, eagle-y is the alpha eagle who ordered the other eagles to fly in and kill him. Anyway, so Michael Rooker dies in this episode. Well, I'm sure he did. Like he was being, again, ripped to death by. I suppose they could always cut back to somebody who is like next to dead, and then be like, "How? Oh my God, he's still alive." They do that sometimes. So Chris ends up, deciding that the pocket dimension, that he has to leave with it, and he was followed by Judo Master back to his little cabin. So he and Eagle-y go in the pocket dimension, and he leaves a note, and then goes in, and then Judo Master also writes a note and then leaves it, and then goes in the dimension afterwards, but then the dimension closes and then can't be reopened. So Judo Master's trapped in the other dimension. I don't know how this helps anything, but so we end up with Chris, Eagle-y, and Judo Master in the other dimension. Everyone else is in the regular dimension, and Adebayo and everyone else is trying to figure out, they try to get the gang together to try to figure out how to open the dimension and go after Chris, or go get Chris, or go rejoin with Chris, or whatever James Gunn is going to allow them to do that's going to be part of the DCU, because this is all about fixing things and shifting things around so that Peacemaker as a hero will be part of DCU, but what along with him will be part of DCU. I'm assuming Eagle-y at this point, but will any of these other characters make it if there's like a third season of Peacemaker? If they're going to do anything else with Peacemaker? Is anybody else going to be considered canon to the new DCU? Or are they all about to be written off because they're not in the correct universe? So, thoughts on that. Some of them have other counterparts in the other world, which is interesting. We haven't seen everyone's counterpart yet, but at the end it shows Chris being happy at work, and singing Amelia Harcourt, and just, they run over and talk to each other, and it's just nice and happy, and just everything's different. Like it's a wholly different beat in the other world that Chris enjoys, and he gets to have his brother and his father's not a raging racist. So it's just a better world to be in. Anyway, Peacemaker, we're still looking at probably about a 9 out of 10. I wait until the end of the season to give grades now because of the tomato meter. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. These are quicker recaps. There are longer people. If you want to ever spend like an hour of your life, there are people who do like hour-long recaps. It's a lot. It's like, just watch the episode. Your recap shouldn't eclipse the length of the episode. Anyway, and I'll see you guys on the other side.